which he did. So, and I said, well, there's one other little minor problem. And we don't have any money. You can't buy your, and no bank is going to lend us money. He says, that's okay, I'll finance it. I mean, it just, oh my gosh. Now, I got heavy debt, so we're still paying off. We've been faithful, we're on track, and everything's good. But I mean, that was another miracle. Just said, go for it. Now, he also did a great, sweet deal for him, so we're taking good care of him and also maintaining his legacy. So, along comes Best Way. Now, when I went from here to here, we had somebody to run this. Lori Lear kind of stepped in at that point, some of you remember her. When I went from here to figure out, oh my gosh, what is this about, and get my arms around this, we hired somebody to run this. His name is Rick Oxenham. He came from the real estate business industry, and after about 6 months of working there, he comes down to me and he says, hey Pete, you know you got another business up here? I said, I do. What's that? He goes, you got a mortgage business up here. I said, really? Wow. I said, no. I gotta figure this out. No, don't do this to me. So we just put that, I just dismissed that. But about a year and a half ago, we started Turning Point. Actually, Family Life Mortgage. Okay. And now, so we got this stuff going on. This is for-profit. This is for-profit. The other thing is this industry is just ravaged by the IRS and scandal. It's just unbelievable. Here's another party I got to, too late. This party's over too. But what we're doing here is great. And so what we're doing is we're spinning off a for-profit company called Turning Point Stewardship, which is basically what we're doing here. Let me tell you what this does. This helps people with credit card debt. Up until now, although it's changing quickly, it's been a free service. You donate or don't donate, you get the full service in this way. And basically, we take people out of credit card debt. People come to us, an average person here comes to us with about $22,000 of credit card debt on, and over about 6 cards. And they're paying on average about 24% interest on that money, which is unbelievable, right? They come on our program. For the duration of the program, which is usually about 3 years, they're down to about 6% on all those cards. And so their time to get out of debt is like cut in half practically, if not more. And then we also counsel them to accelerate paying off their debt. So, and since we do it for them, it gets done. All right. There's all kinds of problems. There's the big boys who went from, $5 million to $100 million in 3 years, which is like, well, that's crazy. What's going on? Well, yeah, there's a lot of money, and the problem is 501c3, the government isn't getting taxes. So the government doesn't like this. So they're all over this. And so this party's over. So we're gonna spin this thing off into Turning Point Stewardship, which also does, which will do the same thing, help people with their credit card. Up here, you're limited to credit cards. Because people say, well, what about my other debts? Can you do this? No, we can't do this. What about student loans? Can't do this. I mean, we're very limited and regulated about what we can do. Here, we're going to start just like what we have here, and then little by little grow this in terms of, yes, we can do your other bills and all this stuff. And basically, we're really excited about this because, now, wouldn't it be nice if you could find somebody who would diet and you lose weight? Wouldn't that be a cool thing? Or go to the gym and you start to get rocked, that'd be awesome. You can't delegate that. But wouldn't it be nice if you could give somebody the stewardship of your finances and your savings grow and your tithing grows and your financial goals get met? Wouldn't that be awesome? That you can do. And that's what we're going to do here. We're excited about this because most churches struggle financially. Most pastors' wives have to work. Most pastors have a second job. Why? Because the average tithing is about 1.9 or somewhere that 2.5%. If the church tithe 10% like it's supposed to, we'd be doing all kinds of wonderful things. But we don't, and so everybody struggles. And you go to a lot of churches and it's a schlock. This is an exceptional church. It's pretty first-class stuff. But most churches, he's cutting the lawn and he's going to prepare a sermon and it's just ridiculous. So what we're hoping to do, and the missing ingredient, there's Crown Ministry, which is a great ministry, and there's a lot of great educational stuff out there. And so now we learn, and I've talked to the leadership of Crown, and they said the frustrating thing is about after 6 months, they're still not doing it. They know now, they're more educated, but they're not doing it. So what we're trying to bring to the table is the discipline. We'll do it for you. You know, stewardship is knowing what you're good at and what you're not good at, and if you're not good at it and it's important that it gets done, you make sure somebody else does it, right? Even in our practice, if you're not good at, you know, paperwork, hire somebody to do your paperwork, because you need to do your paperwork. Good stewardship is making sure it gets done. Doesn't mean you have to do it, especially if it's not your skill set. So we're pretty excited about coming alongside folks that, you know, can start giving their finances. And the other thing we learned here at TurningPoint.org. Are you that Turning Point that's on the radio? Yeah. I heard your thing. In fact, I went to your counseling. Really? And he just starts talking about Turning Point. I went, wow. Some grizzly guy in a back alley painting, and but that happens wherever I go. People tell me a story or something. And you know, we've been around for 25 years, so you know, and we've been consistent. And most of our competitors, because of this HMO, are gone. Now there is a change now in the area, and they're finding the HMOs are not as great, so things are starting to change again. So here we go, scrambling around trying to make this thing work. Now let me mention also that it's, you know, with all this transition, my care has been taken away from each one of these to more of an administrative to oversee. My job is, as it turns out, I create things and then I hire people to run them, and then I help and support their efforts to make sure everything goes forward and all that good stuff. Turning Point Counseling doesn't have an executive director. I mean, Kevin kind of is the acting, but we really don't, and the reason is we can't afford it. And really, Dave and Francis are, you know, holding down the fort and doing a fabulous job. They're the best team we've had in the last 5 years, actually 10 years. When we were in the boom time and we were in Diamond Bar, we had a secretary, we had a controller, we had all this good stuff, a lot of expenses. In fact, when we moved from Diamond Bar to here, to La Mirada, we went from a $20,000 nut to a $4,000 nut, just to survive. And that's another point, is that Best Way really is not part of the family, as you can see. I mean, what does making parts have to do with quality of family life? Well, their slogan is changing lives one part at a time, because they support everything that we're doing. We're in their building. You know, they give back. Probably, I mean, things I could write down and identify about $5 grand a month that saves Turning Point that kind of money. Rent, HR, IT support, controller, all that stuff. Now, let me tell you how Kevin and I get paid. We've been overseeing this for 24 years, almost 25 years. It'll be 25 in January. Kevin and I get 100% of our fee. Okay, that's been going on for quite some time. And then we also get, after 24 years, and this started about a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago, we each get $1,000 for our efforts to administrate. That's it. Now, we get $1,000 each, and Best Way, which is our company, gives back $5,000. So we're still giving back, you know what I'm saying? So nobody's laughing their way to the bank with this thing. Now, I make good money because I went into other things, but this ain't gonna happen over here. This is like, this industry has become like the teacher industry. People go to teaching because they care about kids. And they want to train kids, and they have a heart for that. It's not for the money. You know, you can make a decent living, but that's kind of where it's at. What else did I want to talk about? Let me double check. I'm going to be speaking at Biola Friday at the President's Leadership Circle, and I'm going to be talking about all of this, what I'm about, and you know, there I am standing up, and I'm going to be talking about Turning Point Counseling. I'm going to talk about one of my best psych assistants I've ever had. Came from that school. And by the way, these two here, Trina and I always blank. Jim. Yeah, it's only been 2 years, right? He shared me his personal life.
Peter, I do it all the time too.
At that moment, but these two have held down the fort from a clinical perspective fabulously. You know, I mean, we've been through some rough stuff, and they've been there, and you know, it's been awesome. So we got a great team. It's lean and mean, and which is good. Costs are down.